Hey friends, welcome to Third Style Garage. My name's Doug and this is
Dale.
And we are working on a 1966 Volkswagen Beetle convertible named Hendrick. This is episode 32. We often screw up. 33. We just looked it up like 10 seconds ago. Trust us, we know what we're doing, we just can't count. And today we are working on mounting the bumper to the rear, and our goal is bumper brackets that are level and a bumper that sits perpendicular to the car and a deck lid that doesn't hit it. That's our goal for tonight's project, or however many weeks and months and years it takes us to do this. Thanks for being part of Third Style Garage. If you haven't, click subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and stay tuned to see how this goes. So we installed the bumper brackets, and this one is only held in by one bolt. But even if you look at both of them, they're both pointing, they're angled towards the ground. And so we put on the little level, and Dale held it to where it needed to be. Let me crawl underneath here. So we think we're pretty confident that this bolt is in a good spot. So that is kind of our pivot point. You can see this thing can go up and down. We think that this welded in nut is in the wrong spot. So Dale put the level on it, held it level. I marked with a gray Sharpie on the top, and now we're going to take the fender off and we will be able to see how much we need to rework that brace to get the bumper to mount level. The plan is this threaded hole, based on the measurement of this line, this threaded hole needs to be about 9/16 of an inch lower. So we are going to cut all the way across the top, cut down all the way to the back, and we're gonna cut all the way across the bottom, and we're gonna stop right there. And that will allow us to twist this whole thing down. This will remain attached, which will help us locate this hole, or keep this hole located. If that didn't make sense to you, just hang on and watch. Okay, so we've got it cut. Put a bolt in on each side. And now basically, Dale, go ahead. We should be able to lift up on it, which will pivot here. And this end should go down. Apparently Dale thinks I didn't do a good enough job cutting it.
You have to cut through the whole thing.
Cut it yourself, Dale. All right, I did the job right this time. Although I may have cut it in such a way that the cut is going to collapse as it bends, so I may have to open this relief cut up a bit.
Yeah, I'm running into it.
All right, let's cut a little more. So again, we left the bottom here, hopefully you can see that, still attached, and then twisted this down. So that's a really ugly tack weld, but it worked. It held it in place right here, setting this level up and down, and then yeah, so up and down. We're now level this way, and then we kind of twisted on this, opening and closing up that gap until it was level this way. And now we're level that way as well. So our next job will be to make this look as nice as we can, and then go do the same thing to the other side. All right, so we're moving on to the driver's side. And we have the fender on and the bumper bracket is in. You have the level. So we have a couple problems. One is the bracket is not centered in the slot. When we ran the stabilizer overrider, it was also to the right-hand side. So one thing we need to do is this whole thing needs to shift 1/8 of an inch outward. The other second problem that we have, go ahead, is that it's high here. So the whole thing needs to go down so it's more centered in this slot. The other challenge that we have is that it is not level. So it needs to be angled upwards closer to about there, which is a pretty significant difference. So we're underneath the cut. Dale. Just because I dropped it.
It's my fault.
It's your fault. All right, so underneath, I got a little magnet holding it. So this is the piece we cut off. This is a patch piece that we're using because we needed to space this thing out 1/8 of an inch. Plus we lost the amount of material that I cut when I ground it out. So that ended up being about, we needed 3/8 of an inch, a little closer to 5/16 to fill that. So we have this fairly level. Dale scratching his head. And this spacer in here. So now we're gonna tack weld this in and then we'll test fit everything. And then after that, we'll take this off and do our best to make that thing look as pretty as possible. All right, bottom is tacked in. Not real pretty, so don't judge my tack welds. Here's our patch for the top. We're gonna try to put it in on a little bit of an angle to fill it. We are level that way and level this way. We're really close, it's gotta go right there. All right, so Dale's gonna hold that while I tack weld this one in. I think Dale can handle that job. Although he just took the level off, so I'm not sure how he's gonna do it with the level off. Really, folks, we know what we're doing. You just need a willingness to try. All right, she is tack welded in, and we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna reassemble everything and test it. Although this time, I think we're ready to test it with a bumper. So, sweet.
Good news.
Yeah, yeah. Good news is we are nice and level there. We're really close to level. Oh, we're not quite, we're close. The bad news, we are not in the center of our slot even close. I don't know what we did. Well, we gotta redo it. I'm sure it's Dale's fault. All right, so we took the brace out, the patch, ground it down, and re-tack welded it in after, it's now level this way. Use the grommet to double check that it's level up in front and back, forth. We're level here. Dale, can you pull the grommet out?
I
Just slide it. Yeah, I just want to show it's centered.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
good.
we can't.
There it goes.
So
That looks
better.
pretty good.
That looks
Better than before. That's for
better.
sure.
We still really honestly have no idea what we did wrong and how we were off 1/4 inch. So
Looking at the wrong line.
I don't know. Don't know. I hadn't even drank anything.
It's not about blame. It's about making it right.
There you go. Don't be furious. Be curious. There you go. All right. Time to take it off again and weld it for good.
Third stall and pithy sayings. Make a list. Wisdom. That's what that is.
There you go. An age. All right. Have a good night. The bumper's back on, and in a moment I'm going to show you the whole thing, but we're going to take it back off for one reason, and that's because of this. It clears.
Yeah, here, let me get the light.
But I don't know, that is maybe 50 thousandths of an inch. I don't know my metric, a millimeter, half a millimeter, something like that.
Too close.
But it clears. I'm not sure if it'll clear with a good thick layer of paint on. So we are going to take these brackets, and they are pulled all the way out right now. Both sides are. And we're going to elongate the holes on the inside so the whole bumper can come out about 1/8 of an inch. So we're gonna do that off camera, and we'll put it back together and hopefully have some great results for you. The slots are elongated. This end, focus camera, this end is a little thin now, thinner than I would like. So I'm gonna build up the end of this with some weld and then grind it flat, just to strengthen that up a little bit more while Dale works on grinding the other one. So we got the bumper on. We thought we were really close to being done. So this feels like this is quickly becoming like Fit the Bumper Part 6. So the bumper's on. Let me show you the issues we're running into. The good news is the deck lid clears very nicely, but that's because we have the overrider bars on each side unbolted from the front here. What we found is the overriders were pulling the top of the bumper in so that the deck lid was clearing by, you know, a hair's width. And so we took the overriders, loosened them on the inside, and suddenly we've got a really nice gap here. The other issue that we have is, you can see that's the slop in the bolts here. This side's tighter. When we put kind of a hand in here and a hand in there to measure the distance from the bumper to the fender, with this slop all the way out, this gap was significantly larger than this gap. And so it seems like our slots in the bumper bracket are not identical from one side to the other. We like the adjustment that we have on the driver's side. The passenger side, I can't slide it right now because it's bolted tight. We would love to have a little bit more travel to be able to pull it back. We're leaning towards that. We really would like a gap here of about 1/4 of an inch. That way, if anything ever tweaks a little bit, grandkid rides a bike into it or something, I don't know. We want a little more gap than like the thickness of the paint. So we're gonna re-slot or extend the slot on the passenger bumper bracket. They may get us to the point where we're dangerously close to the end of it, so we may have to weld more on to the end. I had to do that on the driver's side as well. Once we do that, we're fairly sure, we'll test fit it again, that our overriders will not be long enough. So we will probably need to extend the overriders as well by either cutting it, adding some material in the middle and welding it shut, or adding material on the end and slotting it. We'll figure that out. But yeah, when we're done, it's gonna be awesome. But it is fighting us every step of the way. So we're gonna go off camera, we're gonna work on that one, and then we'll bring you back in and show you what we're doing. So thanks for following along. Sorry till the furnace is on. So we wanted to extend the overrider 1/4 of an inch. So we cut it with an abrasive cutoff disc, which removed 1/8 inch of material. I have a 3/8 patch in the middle. This is what it looks like welded. And here's what it looks like welded up. Not perfect. You're good. You can see that it's welded, but that'll work. Time to do the second one. Dale, you gotta talk sometimes. You love talking.
All right, I do love talking. That's true, but
That's why you're a teacher.
okay.
All right, if we're lucky, this is the end of episode 33. We have not checked everything, but if it all works, all right, do it, Dale.
Okay.
What all are we checking?
All right, so boy,
First of all, quick recap. What did we originally try to solve in doing this?
Yeah, so we had worked on the deck lid and got this whole gap up here nice because we're working our way out. And that was its own project. Then we discovered we really had 3 issues. The rear apron had issues, the bumper had issues, and when the deck lid closed, which it opens, the engine lid seal was running into problems. So we decided we were going to solve them one at a time. The apron was episode 32, and that was a month of work. And then now, weeks of work, we've got a bumper. And prior to this, the bumper mounts were in all the wrong spots, and they just did a bunch of through bolting and whatnot. But one of the major things that Volkswagens do is the engine lid. If you look, it's only clearing. Now we're clearing by not a millimeter, but it's more a 1/4 inch. So I feel real good about that. And we're not hitting anything here.
I did see one the other day where somebody had taken a channel X and simply bent the bumper back.
I can see with the amount of work it takes to get it to go right. We wanted, of course, as we replaced all of these and cut into all of the mounting surfaces, we have a level bumper. That's super sweet, which, you would expect us to have that, but we didn't have to have that with all the cutting we did. And then getting all of these supports in the center, you got to be able to have a grommet. That doesn't fit.
Yeah.
A grommet come around the whole thing, and so we wanted those as close to center as we can. And there is some adjustment if you yank on things, but that looks, you can totally fit the grommet around it. So that turned out really well.
Before the bumper was on, this level was on this bracket here. So both sides of those were level as well.
Yeah, which is probably 5 minutes ago in the video, but was weeks ago.
Yeah, and weeks for us is typically we get like one night a week, occasionally an extra Saturday. So, we got a good 4 hours a week that we're working on it.
Yeah. And then underneath we slotted stuff.
All right, let me crawl under a second.
So now we can adjust the bumper in and out if we need to, and we're not all at the edges. But to do it all, we had to, you extended the overrider.
So we added some right in there.
And that turned out really nice. Again, nobody's digging underneath there, but it's all mounting the way it's supposed to, instead of some drill a hole through bolt through rusted metal. That's how the rear bumper was put on before.
So we ended up extending this slot forward a bit. Same thing with this slot, except for we ran out of metal. So we had to weld probably another, I'd say 3/16 of an inch of steel on the end of it. Similar to what we did with this, which gave us the room to get all of this level and have the deck lid clear the way that we wanted. So we will need to go back in later and weld this bumper brace along here and attach that to the car. Right now it is only tack welded in on the top and the bottom. So we will finish that and try to make it look as pretty as we can. It feels so good to have the bumper on and be square. The deck lid opens, and we're gonna call it a wrap for this video. We'll clean up that brace in an upcoming one. And so we're calling this, peace out.
There we go.
Thanks.
Engine lid next week.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, engine lid seal next week.
Engine lid seal.
Deck lid's already in. What are you talking about, Willis? Okay, thanks for following along. If you've got a question, comment, post it below. Go find your neighbor and do something nice for him. Have a great day. Bye.